Then check this out.
Now tonight, as you all know, the President will deliver remarks at the Truman Civil Rights Symposium to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the desegregation of the military and the forward march to redeem the soul of the nation. He'll talk about the courageous action President Truman took to respond to the mistreatment of Black veterans that led to creating the greatest fighting force in history of the world, that is also the most diverse fighting force in the history of the world. And he'll talk about how 75 years after President Truman's courage, today in 2023, a senator from Alabama is blocking more than 300 military nominations with an extreme political agenda.
Okay.
The senator's action and the failure on the part of the 48 Republican senators to do something about it are dangerous. They are harming our military readiness, they're undermining national security, and they're hurting troop morale. And tonight, President Biden is going to make that clear. So I suggest that all of you tune in.
Mm-hmm.
Today's GDP report shows Bidenomics at work. After a year recession predictions, we saw the economy grow at a 2.4% rate last quarter, while inflation fell significantly. Business investment increased by nearly 8%, and construction of factories contributed more to growth than it has in 40 years. As you can see from the chart behind me, that's what the President Investing in America agenda is all about. Bidenomics is growing the economy from the middle out and bottom up, not the top down. Unemployment remains below 4%, inflation has fallen by 2/3, wages are higher than before the pandemic, and businesses have invested more than $500 billion in clean energy and manufacturing. In short, the President's economic plan is indeed working.
Look at it.
And finally, we have some goodbyes today. First, I want to give a shout out to Sebastian Smith, aka Thor. If you guys missed that briefing, you should go back and check it out. Probably one of the most funniest briefing that we've had in the last 2 years. And as well, we want to say a goodbye to Ket Gorgistani as well. Thank you both for your time here with us at the White House Press Briefing Room, and we are very sad to see you all go, and we'll miss you both. Additionally, I wanted to congratulate Ket on your service as the president of the Foreign Press Group, and we're looking forward to working with Richard, who is going to be taking on the responsibilities in the new role. We also want to share another devastating farewell that I want to share on our team. Our very own Abdullah Hassan is leaving us next week, and he's heading to law school. Abdullah deferred law school by a year in order to continue working in the White House, and we are grateful for his dedicated service to the country, to the President and our press team. I did promise his mom that I would not keep him longer than a year, and I kept my promise to his mother. Hi, Mom.
It's an odd thing to say.
And we are very sad to let him go, and if I could, I would hold him for another year or more, but we do keep our promises here, Mom, we do. Abdullah has had an extraordinarily important portfolio here as our spokesperson, as you all know, on immigration, student debt, climate, and more. Abdullah, we know you're going to do great things and amazing things. I think you are going to be a fantastic lawyer because you are a good human and you care about people. So I can't wait to see what you do after law school. And so with that, we are also thrilled to welcome Angelo Fernandez to fill Abdullah's shoes. He comes from DHS, and we hope that you take a minute to say hello to Angelo and also say goodbye to Abdullah.
Wow.
With that, Song Min, the floor is yours.
I wanted to ask about the President's reaction to the legal developments yesterday and with the initial plea deal for his son appearing to fall apart.
Wow.
So look, I'm really not going to say anything more than what I shared yesterday. This is a personal matter for Hunter Biden. This is, a personal issue And as you know, this has been done in an independent way by the Department of Justice. It has been led by a Trump-appointed prosecutor, and I'm just not going to comment beyond what I said yesterday. And of course, and we have said this multiple times, the President and the First Lady, they love their son, and they support him as he is working to rebuild his life. I'm just not going to say anything beyond that.
And on Leader McConnell, he mentioned that the president called him yesterday. Can you talk a little bit about that conversation, what the president's message was to Leader McConnell, and whether the president believes he is able to serve considering his medical conditions as the Republican leader?
So I'm not going to get into the medical condition of the Republican leader in the Senate. What I can say is the president respects Senator McConnell. There is a lot that they disagree on, but they have found ways to work together to find common ground, and I think that's important for the American people to see, that bipartisanship and how they've been able to work together. Obviously, the president has known the senator for some time now. Like the leader mentioned, the president called him yesterday. I'm just not going to go into details on that conversation. As you know, and we say this often here, we try to keep those conversations private, and so I'm just not going to go into details from here.
Thanks, Karine. To follow up on Hunter, is the president concerned that his son's legal challenges will continue to take attention away from the White House now that this plea deal has fallen apart?
I'm just not going to speak to the politics of this. I'm not going to speak to characterize any of this for the president. What I can say is that, and I've said this before, this is a personal matter. This is Hunter Biden, as you know, is a private citizen, and this was done in an independent way. This investigation is being led by a Trump-appointed prosecutor.
Okay.
And so the Department of Justice is independent. We give them the space to be independent, and we respect the rule of law. I'm just not going to get into details of characterizing.
Have you spoken to Hunter?
I'm just not going to speak to any private conversation that the president has with his family.
And one other one. In December 2021, President Biden told ABC's David Muir that accountability is necessary for the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol, no matter where it goes. Does the president stand by those comments, even in the case of former President Trump?
Oh, really?
I just don't have anything additional to add. The president spoke, was very candid when asked that question, and I believe his words still stand today.
Hey, Andrew, good to see you. Yeah, good to see you too.
Andre.
It's okay. On Niger, is the U.S. considering, making a plan to remove troops from Niger? Will you have to evacuate U.S. citizens? And is there any indication at all that Russia could be have a hand in what's happening there?
So a couple of things. So the U.S. Embassy released a security alert on July 26, advising U.S. citizens, which was yesterday, as you all know, to limit unnecessary movements and avoid the affected area until further notice as the situation develops. We continue to monitor the situation and will continue to provide information to U.S. citizens in the region through the travel advisories, alerts, and travel.state.gov. We strongly encourage U.S. citizens in Niger to enroll in the Smart Travel Enrollment Program at step.state.gov to receive important emergency information and be careful. Be careful about where they are and what they're doing. We will certainly determine on what is needed as we get further information. To your question about Russia, Putin, I know there's been question about Wagner Group as well. Until now, we have not seen incredible indications of Russian or Wagner involvement, but to the U.S. citizens who are in the country, we again continue to tell them to be mindful, to be careful, and as I just stated, we did put out an alert yesterday.